very much indeed. It's wonderful to be here. Really wonderful to be here in Adults Learners Week because, of course, I was previously a Minister for Culture as well as now being Minister for Skills. And when I left my job as Minister for Culture back in June last year, many people said to me, oh, you must be devastated. The free tickets to film openings and theatre trips and all of that wonderful art and culture, you must be so sad now. And they sort of would look really wistfully, you must be so sad now, they said, to be the Minister for Skills. And I said, you know what, it was a wonderful opportunity to see the breadth of arts and culture in this country, to be immersed in it, to have the opportunity, and that's rare sometimes in political life, to have the opportunity on a daily basis to be in your imagination because you're inspired by something you've seen or watched. And actually, I think many of my political colleagues understand that that space is sometimes lacking in modern political life. But in this job, as the Minister for Skills, I experience something that's almost more profound. It is being close and in proximity to people who are taking those steps that so many of us take for granted, steps that are about lifelong learning, steps about that powerful journey that you experience because of a wonderful teacher or mentor, that you experience when you grip an idea or a particular fulfillment that comes from a particular craft. Those experiences that then create not just personal fulfillment, but family fulfillment, community, and beyond. And that is a powerful thing that in some ways unites the world of art and culture, but also very much of informal learning. And that's what I want to talk about. The American humorist Christopher Morley once said, there are 3 ingredients to a good life: learning, earning, and yearning. You'll be pleased that I'm not going to talk very much about the yearning. I'll leave that for your imaginations. But that journey of learning, once you experience that in a creative and positive way and move on through life, and then the earning that obviously can come from that and obviously rightly preoccupies me as Minister for Skills, hugely, hugely important. Their education is essential then to securing a well-paid job, that a decent income offers greater security for people and their families, and that the ability to satisfy your innate curiosity can and should bring real rewards. Informal learning is an absolutely vital part of this community. And at its best, and that's what I love, at its best, it is absolutely about community. And often the coming together of people who share very little other than their love and preoccupation in the learning that is taking place. It sprung out, or sprung up, most particularly in this country, out of the foresight and generosity of Victorian politicians and philanthropists who oversaw the creation of great public museums and libraries in towns and cities across the country, institutions which became and remain our universities of the street corner. Informal learning has flourished in working men's and women's colleges, where artisans could be inspired not just in their trades, but in arts and cultures, where teachers, ranging from John Stuart Mill, Rossetti, Ruskin, E.M. Forster, and Seamus Heaney, have all made that inspiring contribution. And informal learning swelled with the rise of the trade union movement as working men and women came together to share not just ways of working, but ideas, and were encouraged to learn for learning's sake, often for the first time. And to glance only briefly at British cultural history in the last 2 centuries is to see informal learning everywhere, in places of worship, in local councils, in technical and manufacturing institutes, in the Open University, the Arts Council, in so many, many places that make up the life of this country. And if the history of informal learning is incredibly rich in this country, then we are certainly reaping the benefit today. Nearly 340 million visits to our libraries in 2007. Over 21 million more than visited 3 years ago. The proportion of people amongst ethnic minorities higher than ever before. 2/3 of us in Britain visited a historic site in the last year, and the same number of people took part in arts activity. 2 out of 5 people visited a museum or a gallery. And there's also the network of union learning representatives, which number some 18,000, whose sole mission is to increase the life chances and opportunities of working people through learning. Their work, encouraging both formal, of course, and informal learning in the workplace, sits alongside, I hope, a renaissance in apprenticeships and train to gain. Above all, I think we can say that talking today about this consultation without the explicit recognition from government that informal adult learning today matters in every one of this government's priorities for a fairer and more prosperous society is important to state that as a fact, but because we want to build on that huge achievement. Adults who learn more about their own health and that of their children. Communities that learn together are more curious, more understanding, and above all, more cohesive. And neighbourhoods that come together to take part in informal learning in places and social groups where it's been forgotten or neglected for a long, long time are things that we should be concerned about, and we should certainly be aiming to build on that achievement. What history shows us then is that for all the chance encounters that characterise informal learning, it only really flourishes with the right support, and that's including the support from government. And that's why the time for this consultation is now. Because society is changing. The diversity of people in Britain has never been so varied or so rich, as different heritages, traditions, ways of learning and expressing ourselves become more established. In short, as what I describe as modern Britain's encounter culture becomes democratised as never before, education providers need to learn and adapt themselves to that new social fabric, because technology is changing